Well, this was a little moment. I decided I'd come on here just to kind of do a little thing because I just finished up sewing the outside of another walrus, and there was one which, given what it was like that morning, being tired and exhausted from the long week, I decided to kind of sew its tusks on my own time away from the camera. So, since I just finished making up another one, I've just decided I'm going to demonstrate a little bit about it here because I finally got down to the tusks now, having sewn up the third one that I was working on. And this is something where I will show you all that I have already kind of stringed the thread and the needle. I'm going to go through this, do a little bit of extra work to make it come out the way it should, and I'd say that we're kind of working this along, getting the flow of this. I just kind of put through the tab on one tusk, tried sewing around it, and just to make this a little shorter and simpler, decided to go ahead, take care of what we got here with that. Working along this line, I'm going to kind of sew the loop into this other tusk here and kind of pull the thread through, make the little knot that goes in the other tusk. So I say that we have come along on this just fine. We got a little place we're doing here where we're going to kind of come along a little further with these tusks. We just got the places made where we need to put them through. So here you can see where the fabric is a little separated, where most of it's sewn up. So we're just going to put the needle through here and not talk about much else because we need to kind of make this simple and quick. So this is how we go along it. And I will say that what I've got here is a little thinner denim, as it is made from the shirt of the lady whose clothes I was donated to make these from. So that's how we're gonna work on this now. And you kind of got to be a little more careful, a little more cautious as you go about this. And there's going to come a time when, with one I've already made out and turned out, we're probably going to demonstrate a little more with that. But this is the place where I show you all how the work is done now. So as we make these next knots, it's going to come out this way, and here I am just showing how the work shall come straight along the way. Make these little lines so they come out just fine. The work is good. The walrus as well. Mom asked me today if I'd been working on any more of these. I told her I had been spending a little time making my third one, and that's the one that I just finished today, the one to which the tusks are the part being worked on right now. So it's been a little time that I've been in the shop and doing a little wood carving today, a little sawing of my bear blanks. Just kind of put a little video to YouTube about that. And this is probably the third video I'm working on today. So I say this is one thing where I've been blessed with this little opportunity to come on here and do this sort of thing. You know, some people have blessed me in my life. I could tell you all about them a little more. There's times when, things will happen in the news and in politics. Horrible things have happened lately. Russia has invaded Ukraine, and I get to where things like that, horrible things in the news, they kind of will affect how much of a people person I'll be for a few more days. So I say that this is going to come along, and I make things just like the way they need to be. Sometimes we have to stay pretty busy. It's not, social media hasn't been all that bad lately because, people are focusing on the things that really need focusing on. They're not getting on there just ranting about the little things like I've seen people all too often do over all these things like masks and vaccines. So I wanted to show you all that I've already gotten around here with the tusk. Finally got back here around this other side near the side of the mouth. So probably should be demonstrating a little more and talking less, but here's how I've made it along. Sometimes, just sometimes, conversations go. Tell y'all, some people, as you can see, I'm just old and I'm wise. I've lived through a lot, I've experienced a lot, seen a lot of things in life that can get pretty uneasy here and there, but, sometimes there's things in life that come a little closer to you once you start getting much busier in life. I take care of little things like this, make sure they come out good, and there's going to come a time when I'm going to demonstrate this a little further. Do think this thread is going to be pretty short. We're going to get through with this part of this project and perhaps be able to move on to the next one. When we do, the work is going to be taking us to where we're going to see light come through and shine bright in us. Oh, the joys of work when you're doing what you love to do. Sometimes in my life, little things just happen, I say, and this has come a time when I've decided to work along on this, make a little place in life, and see where joy shall come in the morning. There was a verse I saw today on a Facebook picture. It was somewhere out of the Psalms. Going to have to look up the reference. I had already heard it on a Kirk Franklin CD in the past, but it was all about how the joy comes in the morning. So I'm going to have to look that up again, find out what the scripture reference for it is, but we're going to manage that, take care of that, because sometimes I think the joy has come in the morning, even when the night was long and the night was dark. I do think, as short as this thread is, there's going to come a place where we're going to have to stop along the way and come our way back, but this is going to be how it's going to come, how it's going to turn, how it's going to make its way out. And I say that it's just a way to kind of see how what we do is going to matter the most when we're done. I say that, you know, this video could be a little longer when I end up having to restream this thread, but we hope that's not going to be too much of a long-lasting thing. We're going to take care of these matters the best way we can, the way we know how. I say that there's a God who looks for us. There's a God who looks after us. I say that there's been times when little troubles have happened in this world, things we couldn't solve. Sin takes its place in the world, but we know that God is always by our side at all times. You know, He's displeased with the things that go on. Probably a little less displeased with Vladimir Putin right now, but we know one thing is that there's always grace. You know, even the war criminals can repent. Even grace can come to them. They can always turn their hearts over to Jesus and He'll renew them. Tell you, people, there comes times in our lives, probably I'm just as a sinner in my life as anybody's been. Always needed a lot more grace myself. Well, I just got that part done. Finally kind of come on to the next. I do want to say that that last piece of thread that I used, it's come time to look for the color again. And I use kind of like this blue here in the thread that is about close to the blue that is of the denim, you know. So we see that work is good, work is great. As we all know, it's like sometimes we get a little wiser as we get older, even as I was talking about the other day with my therapist. We're gonna come along on this now. Try to get the knots into the needle and the eye real good so we can sew them together real fine. We're gonna try to make this little tusky here. Try to get the little string of thread through it, because in all our lives we all see things and hear things and know things, and there's been times when we all gotta look for answers, look for what we know, look for what we see. So I say that we've gotten this just fine here. I kind of decided to do it at the edge of the mouth of the tusk, so try to get along on this, get a little work put through this, try to sew along here, and stop letting the thread get hung up on the fabric. So little work to go here, little work to go there, little work to take its place in what we do, and make it all just brighten our days and our lives and our worlds. It's all just going to be the things we see, the things we need. We know we've been blessed by the people in our lives, touch our lives and make us all better, make us all see new things in this world. for they brighten us, and our days shall be better. I say that this is a time when I'll be kind of out of places for a while. I'll be busy on my projects, but the little times in our lives when we all need each other, we will all be there. So I'm kind of keeping my social media open. Try to keep my friends around. Keep them by my side in all things. As we come along here, we're going to go up to the next part of the tusk here. Take little things to the side and make them all just shine bright. There's going to be a video to come where I'm probably going to turn this thing out, but we're going to try to work on what we can right now and show how great the memorial walruses are going to be. It's going to be a time when in years from now somebody's going to know me as an old famous artist and who was wise in his words and had a lot to say, and they're going to say this walrus was made out of my grandmother's clothing. Perhaps by that time they'll be pretty old and I'll be dead. But we know that this is a time when, of all things, we're going to see that there shall be sentiments in this world. There shall be sentiments of us and sentiments of others and sentiments, of those who would be all around us. I could hope for one thing, that there could be any legacy I could leave to this earth. I'd just assume if it's going to happen after I'm gone. I'd just assume that, people tell me now what they want me to hear on earth while I'm still alive. Don't wait till I'm dead to come to my tombstone and tell me, or to come to my niche, or to come to my urn, whether I'm buried or cremated. We know that's kind of a little thing between my family and me, but just wanted you all to say that whatever you have to say, you can say to me now. Because once I'm dead, I won't be able to hear it. It's not going to matter after that. There's a legacy I could leave to this earth. It might mean enough to enough people. But there shall be a joy to come in the morning that can be like what we see in the Revelation in chapter 7. How God shall wipe away every tear from your eyes. Sometimes we see the things and we hear things. We fear the things that may happen in our lives. What's happening in Ukraine is horrible now. And sometimes dictators can be a little horrible themselves. But there have been good dictators as well. There have been good rulers and good kingdoms and good communist governments. But I say that this is the time when we need to keep them in our prayers. The time shall come when we shall all see the sun, the light of day. Come to show you all that I've already finished up these tusks, finished up the whole thing. Maybe one day there's going to come a time And I'm going to come on here and maybe feel like turning one out for you after it's finished. But, you know, there's some things in life that really are our commitments. So, as of this time, there's one thing I want to show if I can find it. This is the one that I finished a while back. Already kind of got it turned out here, and it's probably going to be soon that it's going to be time to stuff this one. So I'll probably sometime get on here to demonstrate how I'll turn this one out. But as far as the rest of the work goes, I just want to say that glad you all are on here. It means a lot to hear from you and to see you, and feel free to leave any comment you wish, and I just hope to get back to you. Goodbye, friend.